Welcome back to another episode of Work in Progress. Today we have a very special guest, Clemson University alumna Sarah Whitney Abernathy. She is the Early Careers Recruiting Manager at Shaw Industries. She has always had a passion for early careers after working at Clemson University's Career Center for 2 years. After obtaining her Master of Education in College Student Counseling and Personnel Services in 2018, she was hired at Vanderbilt University as the Assistant Director for Student-Alumni Engagement. In 2021, Sarah Whitney moved to Chattanooga to work at her alma mater, Girls Preparatory School, GPS, as the Assistant Director of Admissions and Director of Summer Camp. GPS is a college preparatory school that helps the community understand all that GPS had to offer to girls in middle, upper, and into college.
Well, Sarah Whitney, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming to chat with me.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks, Ashley.
For my first question, can you tell me about when you graduated from Clemson and then what your degree was?
Of course. So I graduated from Clemson in 2018, and back then it was a Master's of Education in College Student Counseling and Personal Service. Very long name. Today, I'm pretty sure they've renamed it to Master of Education in Student Affairs. I wish that was on my diploma.
All right, so my next question is, what was your experience like as a Clemson student?
My experience at Clemson was truly heaven on earth, honestly. It was so wonderful. The day I moved in, a lady bought my groceries at the neighborhood
Aw.
Walmart. I mean, so that just really set me up for success. But I really feel like Clemson knows how to do customer service, hospitality. I felt for like from the beginning, I was going to be set up for success. There was a network ready to provide for me, but I also really appreciated that it was a challenge and they were upfront about that from the beginning. And as a grad student, you know, you've already you do the work at the beginning to get into the grad program. So now
Mhm.
grades, while you still have them, it's now more about your experience and how you utilize that experience and where you push yourself. So I was really grateful for how Clemson did a great relationship of challenge and support, push myself, find the next opportunity, have a good network behind me, learn, grow, fail, learn, grow again.
Yeah.
Um, but it was really helpful to just say that from the get-go, hey, we want you here, but we want you here to succeed. So here's some challenges along the way. Let's see how you do.
So my next question is, how do you feel that Clemson prepared you for post-graduation life, specifically in the workforce?
Yeah, so I will say, or as I mentioned earlier, that I was a grad student when I came to Clemson, so a little bit different than your undergrad experience.
Mhm.
However, I really appreciated that at Clemson, a lot of programs you do have an assistantship. So I would work about 8, 7:45, 8 o'clock to 3:30 or 4:30, and then also go to class. So
Yep.
they felt like actually longer days sometimes than my current workforce days. And not to mention, there's a little bit of homework in there.
Like a
Um,
little.
just a little bit. But I really enjoyed that my assistantship treated that like a full-time job. When
Mhm.
they set expectations, when they set deadlines, I needed to meet them. I if you called out sick, even in your assistantship in your job, they had to put people on backup for you.
Mhm.
And then I also feel like, I wanted to be involved in organizations. So I really had to figure out my time, how much I could put and invest in those organizations. And
Mhm.
that really helped me when I moved ultimately to Nashville, and worked at Vanderbilt. I joined a service project in Nashville, their young professionals organization. And I knew how to invest my time, but I was also upfront with that organization when I would have busy weeks. So I felt like it
Mhm.
really helped me know how to communicate. Okay, I only have so much time in the week, which I wish I could make up some more hours, but you just can't. So I felt like
Yep.
my assistantship, but also Clemson really helped me utilize time wisely, know
Mhm.
how to communicate what I could get through, um, and ultimately just knowing that expectations are important, work life is important, that balance, but you got to get
Mhm.
the job done.
Mhm. I love that. Perfect. As an alumni of Clemson, how then have you seen the brand of Clemson represented in your post-grad life?
Obviously, I love seeing a Clemson paw wherever I go on a
Yep.
polo or on a car. The amount of times I would get honks on my own car, on a long drive or whatnot.
Yeah.
I also think it helped me find communities wherever I moved. I've actually moved 3 times since Clemson just for different job relocations. And
Yeah.
so that was really nice just knowing that I was going to be able to find a community wherever I went.
Hmm.
But I loved being able to tell people that I went to Clemson and people knew that name. They know the
Yeah.
paw, they know the scratch in the paw,
Yep.
and the value that's put in that. I mean, and it's something as silly, but when I would talk to other friends that went to different schools, they never had a bad thing to say about Clemson if they've tailgated at our campus.
Correct.
And so I think it's just really sweet that, we're gonna try to defeat you on the field, but we welcome you to our barbecue. And so
Yep.
I think I wanted to bring that into my my own brand. I wanted people to know that when they saw Sarah Whitney, that it was a value to them. They were going to get what they needed, and that they could trust me, just like I trusted my degree in Clemson's hands.
Hmm.
And ultimately, I feel like I've been able to use that same information in how I work with students, or parents, or whatever project I'm working on. I want them to know that they can trust that value name.
Yeah.
So I really loved just how Clemson showed me the worth of a brand and what a brand image can do, and
Hmm.
how I can transfer that into my own work, but also just myself. When I'm putting Sarah Whitney's name on something, it's something of trust.
Yeah. We talk about that a lot with students, especially looking at our core competencies and having brand being one of them. Um,
Yes.
Having that be something to talk about and keep in mind with our social media, how we introduce ourselves when we're talking to employers at career fairs. So that's great thing. That's great that that is something that you've seen kind of continue
Oh
while
yeah,
in Clemson, but also outside of Clemson.
definitely.
How did you leverage what you learned in your program and also in your time at the Career Center to successfully transition into a different industry?
Yes. As a reminder, I have had several roles that don't probably all look like they go together. So I've been the assistant director of Student-Alumni Engagement at Vanderbilt University. I
Hmm.
have been the assistant director of admission and the director of summer camps at Girls Preparatory School. And
Oh,
I am now the early careers recruiting manager. My degree has really been the lifeline throughout all of these skills. But I think
mhm.
what's wonderful about a degree is that you can use it how you want to.
Yeah.
They are giving you skill sets, they are giving you knowledge, but they are not telling you what to do with it or how to use it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the Career Center really told me. They
Yeah.
showed me how to use those skill sets, but ultimately show what I can do. That I've got this great knowledge behind me of both a public relations degree and my student affairs degree. I care about students. They can trust that I've done the work of trying to find as much knowledge as I can and test that and prove it through papers or
Hmm.
research. But ultimately, it was through those class projects, those class papers that I learned I'm a good communicator. I know how to talk both within just a one-on-one setting and do some counseling, or
Hmm.
I could do a big presentation in front of a group of, I guess the largest group I've done so far is maybe 400.
Oh.
And so just really finding those skill sets and showing them that, again, you can trust me. Here's a few assets behind me through that degree, but really, I have to just applaud the Career Center because they really showed me how to amplify what it is that I have. They gave me
Yeah.
the tool set to name what skill sets I have and how
Hmm.
they encompass. They gave me the confidence to go for jobs that sometimes, it says that 6 to 7 years experience. I don't quite
Hmm.
have that, but why not? If
Yeah.
it's the worst thing that a job could tell me is no, I mean, I'll take that every
Well,
day.
might as well.
I also loved that the Career Center as a woman gave me the confidence to say, hey, I am worth this amount, this level. I'm worth this job. Let me show you how.
Yeah.
So I feel like all of those things really helped me transition from my alumni education degree, admissions education,
Mhm.
even working with summer camp. And now I'm getting students to want to come work for a really great company called Shaw Industries, special plug, and just show that how much I love college students. And with every role, they've been the integral part. But it's something that I love, and I'm thankful that I got to do at all three of these positions so far.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love hearing how it kind of followed you through each of your positions and kind of not only helped you, but is now helping other students, other kids who are kind of going through similar things.
Definitely.
All right. So for my last question,
Mhm.
for our soon to be Clemson graduates, what advice would you give them as they prepare for the job search and then post grad life?
Yes. I thought about this one for a minute when I got this script from Ashley. Thank you for that.
Of course.
Um, First thing that actually I thought about even when I was working in the Career Center is be open-minded.
Yes.
You know, and now that I actually write job descriptions, you can't put everything that you're going to do in that job. And there's going to be a
Mhm.
lot of opportunities, a lot of projects, but some things you might even have to go seek while you're already in that job. And you have no idea that you're going to get to do this amazing opportunity while you're there because it's just not always listed on the job description. So
Yeah.
pay attention to the job description. It definitely shows you that day to day and it's going to give you the essence of that job. But be open-minded, ask
Hmm.
questions when you're interviewing with that company. You are interviewing them as much as they are interviewing you. So find
Yep.
out, truly what keeps them there. Ask questions that, might seem fluffy, but if it's going to help you, they're not a bad question, so
Yeah.
that you can weigh all your options. I also think look at, hopefully the hiring manager is going to be involved in those interviews, but
Hmm.
really look at who that person who is supervising you. This is your first job, I would assume, first true career, if you will, then,
Yeah.
if it's not your first job. Who is that person that could be mentoring you, giving you critical feedback, spending
Hmm.
day in and day out, ultimately teaching you? Is
Yeah.
this going to be a person that you can ask questions to, understand that critical feedback, ask to be involved in a project that maybe you're not supposed to, or, it's not in your day-to-day job description, but it's good learning opportunity.
Yeah.
And not every manager is perfect. That could be their first time also managing, but try to
Hmm.
give, just as you want grace, give them grace, but really look at that manager and see, this is going to be a really integral relationship for you and I. Is this someone that I can have?
Yeah.
Another piece I would also love, especially now that in the position that I'm in, is look at the full compensation offer.
Mm.
Not everything is in a dollar sign.
Yeah.
Benefits matter, and no one really talks to college kids about benefits package.
No.
Ask them to break that down for you. You're allowed to ask those questions and
Hmm.
things that maybe they pay for you, while it might not show up in your salary or on your stipend, that's still not money coming out of your wallet or your pocket. So I really
Hmm.
think look at that full compensation. Sometimes salaries might look a little bit lower compared to one offer, but you might actually end up having to pay more at something because
Hmm.
they are only paying you for the job and there's not a lot of benefits or compensation. So try to
Yeah.
look at that whole package. And again, I can't help but talk about my own company right now. They do a amazing compensation package, especially
Hmm.
because the fact that my whole job is to place college students in our jobs and make sure that they have an amazing manager and leader that's going to pour into them in that first role. So
Yeah.
just keep an eye on that. Oh,
Perfect.
and actually, I could not end this podcast without saying, go to the Career Center. Go, go, go. If you have not gone to the Career Center, go right now. Leave your class. It is so important. They are so helpful and integral. They are so welcoming, and they are going to give you something that you had no idea you needed.
Yeah. I second agree literally everything that you just said. Also totally agree. I am will be one of those people who's asking about the compensation, asking about all those things because I have no idea what any of that stuff means
Nope.
because I've never had to look at it. So
Nope.
that is great advice. Well, thank you so much for coming back, taking time to talk to your alma mater, taking your time to come talk to the Career Center who misses you. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you, Ashley, for having me. Shout out to Alex Newsom. Love you, girl. But I'm just so grateful for my time. It was a opportunity that I will admit I did not seek out. They helped, as you're going through assistantships, it's a mutual selection, but it
Mhm.
was such a gift to work there, learn from there, and ultimately be propelled from the Career Center.